The customs officer made the mistake of admitting the client in on a tourist visa when they were supposed to enter as an extraordinary ability O1 visa. Now, this has great ramifications because this happened over a year ago because the CBP officer at the airport made the mistake of admitting them as a tourist. Therefore, their I-94 expired 6 months after being admitted, but the client didn't know, right? Well, why would they know? Now they're unlawfully here and they unlawfully worked for over 1 year since the expiration of their I-94. They cannot file adjustment of status. They're barred from entering the US. They have to apply for a waiver, which will be denied. What do you do? How do you correct this mistake? They were freaking out. Their immigration attorney in New York freaked out. They tried to find all the solutions, but they couldn't. But we got it done. I want to share with you how. Let's go. Hi everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm the managing partner here at Tsang Associates, where we solve legal problems with creative solutions. So the legal problem is a very technical problem. You have multiple visas. You have a tourist visa, you have an O1 visa. Which visa should the officer have admitted you? Well, they made the mistake of admitting you as a tourist visa when you should have been admitted as a O1 extraordinary ability visa. Based on that admission, you have a certain time that you're allowed to stay. If you're admitted as a tourist, well then you can only stay for 6 months and you cannot work. Seems like such a human error. It seems like something that should be able to be corrected. But the problem was they entered here in Los Angeles, LAX, but their home base is in New York. And when they try to get it corrected in New York, the CBP officer says, nope, it happened too long ago and we didn't make that mistake, so we're not gonna correct it for you. CBP often says that we only have jurisdiction over our airport. We cannot make a correction on somebody else's airport. So the New York attorney reached out to us to see if we can try to reach out and get this problem resolved. We made the connection, we tried to solve it, but the CBP officers said it happened too long ago. They can't. This was not good news for the client and for the attorney. And it just doesn't look good for the US government as well. Because if you followed the logic to its end, that means this client, the mistake that a CBP officer made, would now bar them from entering the US. They would bar them from adjustment of status because they're out of status. They cannot file the adjustment of status. That means the employer would lose this extraordinary ability, talent, and obviously the entire family would lose their green card application and everything is ruined for them. So the logic just doesn't make sense. And it's such a simple and small mistake to correct. So what we did was we took the entire application, the O1, the EB1A, we took the mistake, the clear mistake, we took the passport, and we went to the Deferred Inspection, which is like the supervisory office, the corporate office, the manager that you're supposed to talk to get things done. So we brought everything to the Deferred Inspection, we laid everything out, and we explained everything, and we essentially said, we know this is your job and it's a mistake that happened a long time ago, but let me just explain a little bit to you what the USCIS officer's job is. Just so you know, if you don't correct this mistake, the adjustment of status and everything wrong will happen later on down the line. USCIS will not adjudicate it, they will not give them the free pass. They depend on your correction in order to approve their green card and everything that will happen. And this is the client. This is how extraordinary the client is. When your little tiny mistake would affect their entire family and this industry and this company. The officer understood it, made the correction within like 2 minutes. We got it back to the New York attorney and they were able to do everything else. I don't know what to say about the system that we have that is immigration. CBP officers have so much authority because they are the last line of defense. They can reject your visa, they can admit you without a visa. With great power comes great responsibility. If they didn't have that much power, the entire US government could have shut down their entire COVID because consulates were shut down, USCIS was almost bankrupt and shut down. CBP was one of the last standing leg of the immigration world that were saving lives. And I know they get a lot of bad rep, right, in the southern border and all sorts of stuff, but at the same time, they are the ones that are actually exercising their discretionary power to help so many people. But because they have that discretionary power to exercise their judgment to save people, that also allows for human errors to happen. And when there's a small error on their front, it has huge ramifications on actual cases by the consulate and by USCIS. And I just want to say, it's easy to get frustrated And it's justifiably so because we don't accept this kind of excuse in any other industry and any other private sector and even other government agencies. It just wouldn't be accepted. But somehow CBP is able to say it, but just know that's because of the amount of authority and burden and pressure that they have to do their job. But there are good people and there are good supervisors. And if you laid out your claim and your situation and you're able to explain everything one-on-one, person-to-person, these officers can correct the wrong that is needed to make your case right. So just want to do this story as an encouragement for everyone when they feel hopeless. There's nothing magical that we did. We just showed up, essentially, right? We knew the situation. We didn't take no for an answer. We went in, we showed up, and we presented everything, and we appealed. And that's what we lawyers are doing, right? We zealously advocate for the client. If you have any questions on how to deal with CBP, or if you have I-94 mistakes, which happens daily at every single airport, feel free to reach out. Love to help. Take care. Bye-bye.